Hey everybody, welcome back. I am Tom, the Sunday dinner chef. Today we're going to be making some focaccia bread. Now, I made this the night before. This is probably about 14 hours worth of sitting and bubbling. This was made with probably a quarter teaspoon of yeast. The whole idea behind this is to get air pockets in it to give it that nice little bit of a rise to it, make it nice and airy and a little bit lighter. So what I'm doing here is I'm folding it into itself. That's not breaking it up too much, not crushing out all the air, but you want to just let it keep folding it until it's manageable. In other words, you'll be able to pick it up with your hands and move it around a little bit. So the folding will continue, and then I'll let it rest in between. Now, making focaccia bread is a lot different than ciabatta, because what you want to do, same principle basically, but what you want to do with this is you want to put it out onto a pan, you want to spread it out, okay, and make it rise a little bit, but you want to be able to punch it down a little bit with your fingers. Putting dimples, what they call dimpling the dough. And then inside them dimples is where you can you can top this with just about anything you want, or just leave it alone. Today, we're going to be making some garlic confit, and I'll explain that in a little bit. Right now, I'm going to try to roll around a little bit. As you can see here, it's pouring out by itself, not sticking to the bowl. It's a good sign. So now, exactly where I live is very dry. Now, if you're in a little bit more humid atmosphere, okay, this works out a little bit better. This is a little bit of a task, but guess what? It'll work out fine. So, if you think it's not right or you did something wrong as you're doing this right here, no, leave it be. It'll work out fine. You can see I'm putting a little bit more flour. You don't want to over flour it. What you want to do is you can either wet your fingers or use a little bit of flour. And the whole idea is not to have it stick to you anymore. So I'm going to lightly knead this. Now this is supposed to be a no-knead process. Okay, and we'll just let this flop around here a little bit. Okay, it's just about to where I want it, so now we're going to let this sit for a little bit more. Okay, this is a time-consuming, very easy to do, but very rewarding when you're done. So, now, garlic. Now, I've been having trouble buying some decent garlic lately, so what I did was I bought this pre-peeled garlic, really nice. And what we're going to do is we're going to make what they call a garlic confit. Now, what this means is we are going to, rather than fry it, it'll be slow boiled in oil, in olive oil, okay? This will make it soft, almost give it a buttery texture, all right? Actually, the oil will have a nice garlic flavor to it, and just sit back and follow along with this. Okay, here's my girlfriend Olive. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put enough olive oil in here just to cover the top of the garlic. I'll try to level it out as much as I can. Now, I'm going to put this on the burner, and it's going to start off at high heat till I get it to a little bit of a rumble, and then I'm going to put it on simmer and just let it go until they are fork tender, and the aromas are going to be crazy. Voila, like magic. Well, there it is. It's got it to a simmer now, and that's going to get covered again. And what I'll do is I'll turn the heat up, and I'll lower it back down again. You really got to watch it because you don't want none of it to burn. It'll ruin the whole thing. Now, this dough. You really got to let it sit, all right, and let it relax. All right. I mean, let it sit back in an easy chair if you can. But the whole idea is just to not to bust it up too much as far as the air that's inside of it. You want that to rise up a little bit, because the whole idea of focaccia bread is make it a little bit thicker, a lot thicker than thin pizza also, but have them air pockets in it. Now this also requires a little bit more olive oil than any other bread that you make. So by putting more olive oil in it, it just helps it relax a little bit more. Just picture this to be on a massage table and getting a massage. So once we get it down, we want to put a little bit of dimples in it. Let it rise, okay? And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to start adding the garlic confit to it, and we'll get to that in a minute. All right, it's showtime. Confit is done. The garlic confit is done. Now, how you know it's done is just watch this. Now, I'm going to take a fork and I'm going to push it up against one of the garlic cloves. And, I mean, it's that tender. I mean, just trying to stir it, you'll stab it. Now, this just so you can not grind it up, you can smash this, and it'll be just like butter. I mean, unbelievable. But I'm going to leave them whole, all right? And they're going to go into the bread. All right, it's finally relaxed. It's once you push it out, it's staying in place, which is a good thing. Now I'm going to get it over to the edges. I'm going to let it sit a couple more minutes, and then we're going to start putting this baby together. All right, finishing up putting out the garlic onto the focaccia. And as you can see, as I put them in, I press them down a little bit, and they're getting into the dough. That's how much it has risen a little bit more. It's very soft right now. So the next step, I'm going to season it, and I'm seasoning it with my Tommy spice. If you're new to the channel, this is equal parts salt, pepper, garlic, and onion. And I use all the granulated. The salt is sea salt and also kosher, and they're all coarse. Now, this right here is an Italian blend that is made by Not For Nothing Homestead Ginger. She's a friend of mine. She sent it out. This is good stuff. I like it. Come on. Now, this is going to get into an oven, 375. It's going to probably cook for about 15 minutes, and we're going to take it out. That's not fully cooked. And what we'll do is we'll add some toppings to it. If you happen to leave this in the oven a little bit too long, it's going to dry out, and whatever toppings you put on is going to burn. So, with that said, in a restaurant setting, we would take this and bake it for a little bit, 15 minutes, take it out, and if you're going to put a little bit of a sauce on it. Now, here, my wife Marie, Italian, she makes homemade meatballs. They're a little bit smaller because she also makes this Italian little meatball soup, they call it. Now, it comes from her family, and I gotta tell you, we're gonna do it one day. It is excellent. Now, the little tiny meatballs go into a regular chicken soup. You can drop an egg in it, beat up an egg, put an egg in it. You can put noodles in it, however way you want to do it. But I tell you, I had to steal some of these meatballs to put on the top of this focaccia. Now, a little bit of sauce. This is not to be a pizza, okay? This is supposed to be a bread with some toppings on it. Now, I went a little overboard with the meatballs and a little bit of sauce, but we're going to see the finished product when it's all done. Now, this will go back into the oven just to get everything warm, finish cooking the focaccia, make sure it's cooked on the bottom. And I'm going to tell you what, this thing is going to be off the charts, I'm telling you. I thought I said this is not a pizza. Anyway, can't resist. Just a little bit of mozzarella and a little bit of cheddar, and then finish it off with some Parmesan. Now, this is the finished product. Now, the whole idea of focaccia bread is to have the top and bottom kind of crunchy, and the inside nice, the crumb on the inside nice and tender. So, as you can hear me cutting it here, it has a little crust to it, which is the way it's supposed to be. Now, I'm just going to cut this down. I can't wait to show you the inside of it, because that's what it's all about. Now, picking it up, you got to be careful because the meatballs are not baked into the focaccia itself, so they're just on there. If they stick, they do. I know. Watch, I'll have one fall off. It's almost guaranteed. Now, I'm going to put some of it off to the side. That's for another time. About an hour from then. All right. Well, there it is. Now, I'm trying to show everybody what we used to do in restaurant business, but you can do at home. There it is. Now, look at that. It's so nice and airy. Now, with the humidity where I live, it's almost zero. Oh yeah, crunch. It should have been a little bit higher, but there again, I got to play with it. What I should be doing is in my oven, I should be putting in some water. Like a pot of water, just to get it some air in there. Look at the bottom there, how nice that is. All right, everybody, listen, I am Tom. This is the Sunday Dinner Chef. I hope you enjoyed this. And you know what? Hit that like and subscribe button, trying to build this channel up. And we'll see you next Sunday for another Sunday dinner. Take care.